Hello and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and today, unfortunately, Neima can't join us. She's, I don't know, flying around the world trying to save it, punching a meteor, God knows what. But that's okay, because if I'm live and you can read, that means I'm not alone. Lordy, am I not alone. I'm actually joined by a returning guest. One of my favorite guests. I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't play favorites, but oh well, she happens to be one of my favorite guests, and she's returning. She's here right now, and she's not alone. Please welcome back. Oh, and here we go again, just like last time, about to butcher this name. Uh, Daemonolater Brooke is back with us. Brooke, hello!
Hello.
Alright, I think I kinda got it right this time.
Yes, much better.
Yes, woo! Alright, I'm number one. Now, Brooke, you've brought some friends along.
I have.
Who the heck are they?
I have Megan and Tina here with me today.
Megan and
Hey.
Tina. Hello.
Hello.
How are you ladies today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Yep. How are
It's
you?
my birthday.
It's her birthday.
Uh-oh, Scorpio power.
Yeah.
Now, I almost said something very inappropriate about Scorpios, but I will not do that because I know you guys are vengeful and you will seek me out and shoot me, so I will keep it to myself.
I'm probably the most non-confrontational and non-vengeful type of Scorpio you will ever meet. Ask Brooke.
Very true.
I refuse to believe that, but
It's because I'm so close to Libra.
um,
I've got balance.
so okay, if that's what you say. Fun fact. Quite a few people don't know this, but I am actually Taurus Libra Libra.
Oh
So,
shit.
so I am 100% Venus. So ladies, I know how to make the love. All right. So I just felt someone cringe really hard, and we'll just move on from there.
Leo, Scorpio, Sag.
Um. Okay. So. Oh gosh, here we go again. Daemonolatry.
You got this.
All right, Daemonolatry. What is it?
Fuck yeah. The worship of demons.
Worship of demons. So you know when people hear worship of demons, it freaks them out.
Yes.
Is
Usually,
it something that people should be afraid of, or is it something that is just misunderstood?
definitely misunderstood.
Okay, so Brooke, when you were on last time, you told us about Gusion and
Mm-hmm.
how he has helped you and opened your eyes to certain things and actually helped you find a type of enlightenment and put you on an interesting path of discovery.
Yes.
So, Megan, Tina, is this similar for you ladies?
I would say so. Through a different daemon, but yes.
Okay,
Yes, I have to agree with Megan.
okay. And why do you say daemon and not demon?
It's a proper term for them. Brooke can explain this more.
Basically, demon is just the corruption of the word daemon that came about in Roman times. So, daemon would actually be the proper term, though not everybody goes by that, which is fine. Everybody practices different, but we prefer to use the word daemon because we want to be a little bit more specific in what kind of entities we're talking to or mentioning, I guess.
Okay, well, I totally understand that, and you do want to remain respectful. Oh, you know what? Brooke, real quick, I have a very oddball question in regards to Gushin.
What's up?
So, he is a son of Thoth, correct?
Yes.
And does this mean that, oh gosh, I just forgot the name of it, but since Thoth is considered to be Hermes in Greek mythology, would that also mean that, he would play a role in Greek mythology as well. Would he also be considered a son of Hermes?
Well, it's kind of debatable on what Thoth is related to in Greek mythology, but it's very possible he also had a role in Greek mythology. I haven't really been able to find too much as far as like Gusion, anything really related to him in Greek mythology.
Okay.
But I mean, they definitely, because Thoth has a couple different ones that he is related to.
Okay.
So
So, just want to ask real quick because that's been on my mind for a minute and I will forget. Okay. So, Megan, you said that you are working with a different Damon.
I'm so sorry. What was the question?
Are you said that you're working with a different Damon, like you're not working with Gusion.
No. So I work with Seer.
Seer, can you spell that?
Yes. So there's two different forms. It's Seer or Seere. So Seer.
Okay.
Kind of like a seer.
Mm.
Seers of Greek mythology, but it's Seer is his name.
Okay. And can you tell us a little about him?
Well, there's a lot about him.
Uh-oh. Okay,
So,
let's start with this. How did you come into contact?
um, so he was hanging around for a while, but I never really noticed who it was. And then it was pointed out actually through Brooke, who was kind of told who he was. And then from there, I was able to connect with him. And then that's kind of where it started. And after so long, then there was little like hints and key points, and then communication became more over time. And then from there, it became dedication, and then I am now here.
Okay. And Tina, what about you? Do you work with Seer or Goosen, or you work with someone completely different?
Yes, I work with Asmodeus.
I actually know this name. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did
I'm
you?
sorry.
No, oh, it's okay. How did you come into contact with Asmodeus?
Um, well, the whole idea came from Brooke. I didn't really know much about this until I met her, and my experience is a lot different. One time I was laying in my bed and I felt something pushing my bed, and I just got done talking to Brooke on Facebook about me thinking that it might be Asmodeus. So he physically moved my bed, like pushing it, like, "Hey, yes, you're right. Please communicate with me." And so I started meditating and communicating with him, and now I worship him.
Oh wow, that's
Now, talking actual experiences, I kind of misunderstood the question because Seer came to me through dreams. So if we're
oh
looking for a more physical thing, his physical form was shown to me, but I didn't know who he was. So anytime you see Seer, a lot of the times he'll either present his form as what people consider a fallen angel. He comes in riding a winged horse, and he kind of looks like a prince on a horse.
huh.
He shows himself younger. He's a boy. And in my dreams, he presented himself as like a guy in his mid-20s, blonde hair, and he took me to Turkey. As weird as that sounds, like it was an actual astral projection. And he shot me into Turkey, and he was trying to show me stuff. And that's when it got really serious and was like, okay, so this man, he travels across the earth literally within a blink of an eye. Like, he can shoot you, and he loves the astral realm. By the way, that's where he communicates the most with me. He loves doing that. My dreams, I get shot into dreams all the time.
Oh wow. Does that drain
They,
you?
huh?
Does that
Very,
drain you at all?
very much. I am very exhausted most of the time because I don't know how to control it. And that's what he's trying to teach me to do, which is why he pushes me so hard.
Oh wow. I don't think I can do that. Okay, so it sounds like they chose you. You didn't exactly choose them, but and this is probably impossible to answer, but why did they choose you?
I don't I don't know. See, my idea is he's hung around for a while and he's probably been around from probably as sorry, I'm bad at talking.
It's
He's
fine.
probably around for a while way before I was born, and from what he's explained, it's generational. So my reincarnation has already had him tapped in through many lifetimes, and in a way he's cultivated my soul. And as much as that sounds weird, that's the most that I've gotten as to why he's around. It's because he already knew me in previous lives. And sometimes that's how they come about. They've already met a soul and they want to reconnect with it in the next life that comes around. Sometimes there's a different reason, but they're very respectful and they approach you and you are allowed to choose to work with them. And that's why we're really big on respect, because they're big on respect and free will.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Would you agree with that, Tina?
Um, I think that Asmodeus chose me because we have very similar energy, in my opinion. Like when he comes to me, when he communicates with me, you can even feel him in the room that you're in. He's very, um, the best word I could say is aggressive, but not in a negative way. It's just a very heavy, strong willed type of feeling. And I can relate to that.
Okay. So they have different ways of doing things, and wait, you can relate to that type of energy. What? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what? How can you relate to that? Wait a second.
That is
Because,
another thing. Their energy relates with you. So, like,
yeah.
anytime they work with you, a lot of the times they resonate with
Mm-hmm.
you. So you have this resonation, and you can tell whenever a like entity, a spirit, or a daemon, whatever you would like to call them, comes across, and their energy just does not mesh.
Mm-hmm.
But like with
You
Seer
can
and
relate to
me,
that.
we are practically on the same wavelength. We have very similar traits. Like, he's a neutral but good spirit, and he does not have an idea on whether good or evil truly is or like pre-exists in the world. So he doesn't judge based on good or evil, and he's very nice. He's upbeat. I mean, he practically radiates sun energy. He's got this warm, like, spring breeze type of energy. Anytime you feel him, it doesn't feel super aggressive. It's very calming, and that's kind of how, I guess you could say, I'm a very upbeat, positive person. And that's kind of how he is. He acts like literally that happy go lucky beach boy that resonates like this super optimistic, like, point of view or character or energy that they give off. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's a nice entity.
No, I, I,
Um,
I
and
get
the
you.
way, and the way I would explain it would be, people tell me that I'm intimidating for some reason. Like if you get to know me, I'm really not. I'm shy and quiet, but the energy that I give off can be intimidating. And when I was first working with Asmodeus, that's how I felt when he would enter the room, as a little intimidated. So that's how I would explain. I can relate to that.
That
Yeah.
makes sense, because Seer's just approachable.
Yeah, and then even with me, with Gusion, his energy resonates with me as well. Like he's very laid back, calm, like very non-judgmental. I would call him very balanced, and that's how I've always tended to be as well. We have a lot in common as far as like everything that I've learned from him is everything that I wanted to be better at. So it seems like they choose those who resonate with them, and either through many lifetimes or the current one, we seem to resonate with them and their energy.
Okay. And Angie, hi Angie. She says, "Gosh, ladies, you have totally identical voices."
I am so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'll just chop it up to you guys are all on the same wavelength. There we go. That's simple. So, let's go more into experiences because Brooke, you told me that for the most part you have nothing but positive experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Megan or Tina, have all your experiences been positive, or have there been some what you might call negative ones?
With Seer, he's always been positive. In any way, he wants me to always tell the truth. And he honestly, he has this way of, if I'm not doing the right thing, not presenting his presence or helping me because he wants me to do the right thing. So he's always about bettering myself. But just as we said, it's a give and take, but there's a respect. If you don't give, they're not going to give. If you aren't willing to do something to better yourself or to go along the line of what they're trying to teach you, they're not going to do it back. So I can say my experiences are very positive because before Seer came along, which is why he's always lingered in the background, there was something that wasn't nice attached to me. And he came to Brooke, I'm pretty sure, to pretty much display the fact that he couldn't contact me until that thing was gone. So between the negative entity that I've had experiences with already compared to him, all he's done is try to help me thrive and grow and reach a higher purpose. By that I mean like cultivating, what if you want to say spirit, if you are more spiritual, or just in general cultivating you as a better person. That's where he's worked with me to be.
Okay.
While the other thing made me weak. It was aggressive. It made me sick. I was in the hospital constantly. The amount of times in 1 year I got in a wreck, I experienced 3 wrecks in 1 year where I almost died.
Oh.
And until I got rid of that thing, my life was actually, as crazy as it sounds, it was hell.
Okay. Well, I'm happy you got rid of that thing. Like, good lord. Talk
Oh,
about
yes.
something needing to get kicked in the balls. Can you kick something like that in the
Yeah.
balls?
Trust me, I think Brooke did enough to it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
dealt.
Good.
Trust me, I dealt with that thing. Yeah.
And since then, Seer's been by my side, so it's been great.
Okay. What a prick. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry you dealt with that. Oh, that's not insulting, is it, saying Jesus Christ? I know that's a stupid question, but it's something that it's in the back of my head.
No.
No, they all know, all the entities that exist, or deities, gods, they all kind of already know each other, and I don't really think that it's like that much of an insult just because they have different views and different personalities and different viewpoints.
Yeah, I think, Brooke, we discussed this when you first came on, and I think it was Gusion who said it, that it's like, well, I don't hate them, we just do things differently. It's
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
Exactly.
so. Which is pretty funny to think about because ultimately I think you do wind up in the same place, and not everyone has to take the same path to get there.
You have to think about it like this. You said that there's already been connections through cultures where Gushin has popped up, and or their stories. They've been around for a very long time, and they've already come in contact with different cultures, different people, different entities. They've already known each other, been around each other, been friends with each other, get along, don't get along. These entities have lived their own lifetimes. So it isn't exactly a hateful they're this and that. I wouldn't say like right off the bat, but they definitely have their own views.
Yeah, okay.
They've been around a lot.
For me, it was a little bit different. I wouldn't say negative would be the right word, but when I first started working with Asmodeus, he would mess with me. He would play around, and I think his reasoning for that was to see if I could handle it and if I could tell if he was being serious or not.
Okay.
And
Well,
once we got past that, everything has been like 100% positive. My life has gotten better. I have a house now, like 100% better.
okay. If it's not too personal, what was some of the things that he was somewhat testing you with?
I just feel like he was seeing if I would still stick around after some things that he, like, it was like he wanted me to contact him so bad. Like, he pushed my bed. I saw things on my phone all the time. Like, I saw his name on my phone every day, whether it be a video game ad, where it be something that popped up on YouTube, and I haven't even looked anything up about him. Just like little hints like that. And then when I finally did, he kind of was like laughing at me almost. As mean as that sounds, it was more of like a playful, like, are you serious about this? Like, he was trying to see if I was serious and trying to see if I could tell if he was serious or not. And, one of the weird things that he had me do was, it popped up into my mind to burn a piece of paper, and I did it. And I think that was one of the reasons he was doing that, was to see if I would really do these silly things, to see maybe how dedicated I was to coming in contact with him and learning what it is that he wanted to teach me and helping me progress through my life positively. He has a very different way of communicating and teaching, very different from Seer and Gusion. When he wants me to know something or I'm wrong, he lets me know. It's very aggressive, but it's not mean. It's like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to do. I will help you. But if you're not going to do what it takes to get it done, then you're wasting my time.
You know, he actually sounds a little bit like Loki.
Yeah, he's a bit of a trickster at times. Recently, though, the more time that I've been working with him, like the more time I spend, he's not like that at all now. He's just really straight to the point. Like, he doesn't, it's not like I'm bothering him. Bother's not the right word, but he doesn't really want to waste time. He really just wants to help me with whatever it is that I need help with, or communicate with me about whatever it is that he wants to communicate about, and get it done.
It's so
Okay.
crazy. Because Seer's like a tsundere. He throws a fit if I don't do what he wants.
Oh gosh. Ooh, they would not
And
like me very much. I'm extremely stubborn, so
then you, yeah, and then you have Gushin over here who's just like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, right.
so
True lie.
that is funny. That's so cool though how their personalities are different like
I
that.
know.
Completely. Like what Brooke was saying, Gushin's the type of person where he'll give you like any advice that he deems fit, and if you just don't want, he's like, whatever, you know what? I gave you the advice. Do what you want.
Yeah, Gushin's really calm. I felt his energy here at Brooke's house, and he's very, like, calm and almost like a teacher, like
Yeah.
if you enter a classroom, a really nice, calm teacher.
Oh gosh, where were you when I was growing up?
He's what you would describe as also graceful. I don't know how you would describe him as graceful, but he's got this like grace to him, stoic, like just I don't know. He's very. He's just got this. What would the word be for like someone that's just got a lot of wisdom, and they're like you see wise, like very kind of charming, honestly.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. I love how you said that too. It was just like very shyness there for a second. Um, okay, so my inner nerd is coming out, and I have to say this, or else it's just gonna drive me bonkers. But Tina, do you know who you sound like?
No, I do not.
Okay, so there's an anime called Date Alive. I watched a few episodes in English, and there's a character, a very interesting, very sleepy, tired character. Her name is Rain Murasame, something like that. And I swear, you sound very similar to her.
Oh,
I have a
well,
fellow weeb.
I am a very sleepy, tired character myself, so I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
May too.
when I
Very
hear
good.
you, I just picture her, and I mean, and I don't mean that as an insult or anything, but I just can't
No.
help but, yeah.
No,
See,
it's okay.
I'm like Uezaki-chan. If you've seen, what is it? Uezaki-chan wants to hang out or something like that.
Oh, I will have to look that up now.
Oh, it's such a funny. It's a rom-com. It's hilarious, but she's like the biggest tsundere, and she's like upbeat and super playful and kind of a dick.
Oh, kinda, huh?
She likes to steal his food. Okay, the guy that she like in the anime, he's like this shut-in, and she's like, "You just need to get out. You're just some otaku shut-in." And so he goes to dinner, and she's just like, "Okay, I'm gonna order everything on the menu," and she eats his food and that.
Oh, that's so mean.
She's so mean. Oh my god, she's such a dick. It's me.
It's you.
With, the anime Little Witch Academia.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, you know Susie?
Mm-hmm.
That's who I compare myself to.
So, yes, welcome to Unexplained Possibilities, where we are comparing ourselves to anime characters.
Nice.
This is how you know it's going good.
No, but seriously, I just had to get that out because I was just thinking to myself, who do you remind me of? Who do you remind me of? Why do I know this? So there we go. Now we know. But let's move on to something that I've been wondering, and a lot of people don't talk about. Well, a lot of people talk about it, but not exactly for the right reasons. And if you do search YouTube and you look things up about uh, demons or demon worshiping, whatever, you come up with some real negative stuff. And one person in particular just thinks you're all crazy and you're all gonna die. You're making a deal with Satan and the devil.
We're all possessed.
So,
That's
yeah, you're all
comic.
possessed and blah blah blah.
She
But
who will not be named.
Oh gosh, please no.
but how does one worship a daemon? How do you go about this? Is it the same for everyone, or are there differences? And Brooke, you can start this off.
I definitely think there are differences because, as we just explained, they all have different personalities, and as people, we all require different things as well. So for me, a lot of my worship is just my dedication and time, like meditation, yoga, that kind of stuff. Whereas, like, for other people, they do full on rituals and whatever else. So it is definitely very individual.
Okay. So you're not sacrificing babies or drinking blood?
Definitely not.
I'm very disappointed. All right, Tina, do you do anything special, or do you just give your time?
It's kind of similar to that. My time, my dedication, my concentration, just my willingness to work with him and listen to him. He appreciates that. I think maybe something different that I do from Brooke would be anytime I do a ritual, spell, or make things, for example, like something to protect my home. He wants to be there because he wants to help, and me allowing him to help. Me using his energy and him using mine together, like bonding almost.
Okay, that makes sense too. Let's see, I can't remember what I was reading, but it essentially said that the more you tap in, the easier it is to tap in, and the more connected you become, and in return, you actually get more awareness yourself and understanding, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's exactly how it is for me. And earlier, when Megan was saying that she gets drained when she does things, I actually experience the opposite, and I am full of energy.
really, now that
Yes.
okay, so that's interesting. So you get more energy from it. So do you do uh, rituals of worshiping often just to get energy, or just only when you feel it's right?
I could use that to my advantage. I'm a really tired person all the time, but no, only when I feel it's right. I do that. And I could be exhausted off of maybe 2 hours of sleep and feel rejuvenated after doing work with him for some reason.
Wow. Well, I mean, I suppose you're tapping into that universal energy, though, and
Yeah.
it just fills you up, which, oh, wow, I just realized it's super dark in here, and I don't have a light on, and I should probably turn one on, but I'm not. But anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Um, but yeah, that's so cool that you can tap into that, and you do get that rejuvenation. And a lot of people, they say it's the opposite from when I was doing my research. Well, again, though, when I say a lot of people, I should be more specific and say it's people who aren't actually in the life of uh oh gosh, this word again, Daemonolater, and they are making a lot of assumptions. And that's
Yeah.
probably the most dangerous thing you can do, is make assumptions and spread that fear. And oh, good lord.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's also specific because, like, with certain stuff that I do, it
Mm-hmm.
also fills me up with energy. Specifically, astral projection drains me. So, when I'm in that state, I'm either on the verge of sleep and it happens. There are points when I try to tap into the astral realm and I'm awake and I sit in a circle. And so I'm constantly taking in energy. And that way it doesn't drain me. But specifically when I'm just like thrown off and and I can say this as falling through layers. When I am just like pushed off because Sierra's like, we're doing this tonight. It's a completely different thing. And that sometimes leaves me drained when I wake up. And it happens quite often. That's just my experience specifically with the astral projection. Um, I have actually set up certain rooms and stuff around my bed to kind of help with that, to combat like nights where that does happen, so that when I wake up, I'm one, protected, and two, I'm not completely drained and my body is safe. Um, there's other instances like working with meditation or certain, like, let's say, inside my circle dedications that leave me the complete opposite, or doing things like when I made all the candles for my altar, afterwards I felt so excited and so rejuvenated, and like every single one takes my energy, but I am now connected to the person that I made that candle to. So it's almost like through that offering, I am also taking their energy and giving them mine.
Okay.
Once I light that candle, it's like an exchange.
Yeah. I also just wanted to know. I think that there is similarities in different Daemonolaters practices. Like, for example, the dedication, time, effort, like meditation. But then we all have our special things that we do, different ways of doing things. Like, I'm really good with barriers and energy work, and Megan's really good with the astral realm and her third eye, and she likes herbs, and Tina is more into
Scrying
yeah,
and
scrying
tarot reading.
and tarot
and
reading and
Yeah, I'm potion
What?
making,
Necromancy.
herbology.
stuff.
Wait, did you say
Yeah.
necromancy?
yes, slightly, she said yes.
Wait a
But see, we
second.
we
Wait a second. We're opening another can here. Please explain the necromancy to me.
Okay. So when I met, like, okay, so our altars all look completely different from one another's. Mine has a lot of bones on it because I like death, and that might sound bad, but it's not like I want everyone to die, I want everything to die. I don't see it negatively because it's all going to happen to us someday. So I try to think of it in a positive way. I try to bring out the beauty in death, and I like taxidermy. So I have a rabbit's foot, I have the jaw of a raccoon, I have a skeleton of a squirrel. And when I meditate with these things in my hands, I can sometimes feel them come back to life and feel that animal spirit with me. I do not work with dead humans, just to clarify that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes. I don't go digging up graves and stuff like that.
Well, I hate to admit this, but I do know a couple of people who are in the occult and they will dig up a grave. So,
Oh,
I won't
well,
say
I
any names
mean,
though. They
sure.
know who they are.
Yeah, definitely to each their own.
Yeah, I'm not judging.
So, okay, sorry about that. That just like really caught me when you hear necromancy. It's like, oh no. Are you so okay, thank you for explaining that. That's actually really enlightening.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, see, we all have that same base of meditation and communicating with them and dedicating our time and effort, but then we all have our own ways of expressing that dedication and the different
Mhm.
things we are drawn to.
Definitely specializations that we're able to
Mhm.
produce because someone like me that has more of dreams. So like I said, Seer came through in my dream the first time. I realized I was very big in the astral realms. Brooke is amazing at barriers and healing. She's an amazing healer, energy work. She can purify any energy you had, like you send to her and then give it back to you completely clean. I mean, like, it's amazing. She can rejuvenate you with that energy that you gave to her. She cycled through her and then gave back. It's great. She has done that for me so many times. Oh, what's that one thing you did over my chakras? The Reiki.
Oh, the Reiki.
Yeah, she's really good with Reiki. And then there's others that, more of
The psychic
yes,
type.
the scrying.
stereo
I don't
type.
really know exactly a lot on scrying, so I don't know what to say on that.
And also something specific with me. When I scry, I usually use the flame of a candle and I see runes. I don't know how. I did not practice that. Just one day I focused into a flame and I saw Nordic runes. So that is a thing for me.
That's really cool. And
We're all unique.
yeah, you're all
Yes,
unique in
it
a
is.
interesting way, but yet you all still in a strange way come from that same place as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
It's all
very
how we cultivate our energy, honestly, because I also do the same thing. Like I said, making candles and I grow herbs and stuff, and I use specific herbs and cultivating them with my energy, so growing them and then using them and then putting them into something, making like a certain purification water or like the candles are a great example because you're sticking herbs that help like really bring out the energy and the demons that you're trying to contact. A lot of the times having those herbs really help with that because it's an energy, all that energy. It's just the way that you cultivate your energy.
okay. Um, oh, excuse me. So, how do I put this? I actually want to go back to the death aspect real quick.
Hmm.
And um, I think it was Tina. Oh God, I'm
Yeah.
getting your voices mixed up. But
Yeah.
Tina, you said you do tarot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so with that in mind, because in tarot, death doesn't actually mean death.
Yeah.
It signifies change and the end of something so you could begin something anew. So
Hmm.
is that a good way? Is that a way that oh gosh, who was it? Were you Asmodeus? Yes, I think that was you.
Yes.
Is that a way that he sees things where death isn't actually death? It's not truly the end, and more people need to see things like that?
Yes, but that also is a kind of personal thing to me.
Okay.
I've always kind of been that way.
I think in some way they all teach us that death isn't exactly like the end. Seer has tried to express that to me in multiple different images. Um, as the images that I was talking about, because I said that I'm more connected to the astral realm, a lot of the stuff that comes to me is in images. And some of the stuff I can't physically perceive because it's not meant for me to be able to understand. There is technically some form of other realms. There are other things that, as layers, they display as dimensional layers. You can't see the whole like they can, but there is that dimensional layer that energy exists on, and at one point, your soul can end up on that dimension through reincarnation or the end of a life cycle, or maybe just there's something that happens and that's where you end up. But death becomes a very peaceful thought in our mind after we've been expressed all of this, because I can say that I've also come to terms with death, even if that's kind of how they've worked with you to reach enlightenment in a way, because I said they cultivate you or bring you to a higher spiritual level. Coming to terms with death and seeing it as not the end or something you can't avoid is a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got me thinking. Great. Now you're getting my brain working and opening things up.
Yes.
You're not supposed to do that, darn it. I'm supposed to be a lazy bum.
It is a lot. Like, a lot of stuff that I see whenever I end up, what you could say, astral projecting. So I said that I fall through layers. There are so many different, it's so hard to perceive. It gets you thinking, trust me. I've had to sit there and think about what happened to me in some instances of my sleep time. That I'm just like, what did I go through? I wake up and I'm just like, hold up.
That is funny. Okay, so let's jump to something else real quick that I think people will be interested in. And it's one of those things where, again, I don't know if it's a true answer for this, but how does one become a oh, good Lord, come on, Melvin, get it right. Uh, d- Brooke, just say the word.
Daemonolater.
Thank you. How does one become a demonolator? I don't know why this word hates me. Like, I swear, it's so annoying. And I'm probably just gonna edit this out and just replace with Brooke saying it every time. But yeah, how does one become a demonolator? Do you choose to become one, or does it choose you to become one?
I think it is equal parts. I think that they choose you, but you also have the option to not choose that path. You know, some people just work with them and don't necessarily worship them. And worship mainly just means like showing reverence and special dedication to, not like, you know, on your knees, like fucking, you know,
Hands up and down.
yeah, like, but there are some people who talk to them and deal with them, but they don't worship them. And I think that is what separates a Daemonolator from like other cultists, because other cultists, they'll work with them and make deals with them and communicate with them, but they don't have that same level of relationship or reverence or worship with them. And that's what separates the two.
Okay.
It's not more of what you consider a contract. It's almost like a friendship.
Mm-hmm. It's a relationship. It's a long-term relationship. Versus, you know, it's almost like occultists are making business deals with them or acquaintances with them, where we are cultivating like friend and familial relationships with them.
Okay, so almost like an apprenticeship, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just like that, yeah.
They teach us, they help us learn, and we take on a lot of information. So definitely apprentice-like.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if they actually learn anything from you.
I think they've learned a lot about humanity over time. Like I said, they've been around different cultures, different people, different entities. I mean, lifetimes and lifetimes beyond us. I think that the reason they have personalities the way they do is because they've come in contact with so many different people. They know humans, they know how humans are, and they sometimes express themselves like humans. And they've taken out, like, if you go and live with different people and they have a completely different way of living, don't tell me that at one point you're not going to end up taking on some of those traits, some of those habits, some of those characteristics. It's nature versus nurture. Even a child that is not of the parent that gets adopted will soon grow up to have certain characteristics that that certain parent has. It's just being around and taking on and having so long to absorb all these different things. And definitely, I think that they've done that with humans.
Okay. So, I've asked this before with you, Brooke, and I'm going to ask it again with for you, Megan and Tina, if you can. I don't know if it's possible or not, but if you can ask. Oh, wow! I just had a giant mind fart. I can't think of their names. Seer and
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Good lord. This, and you can ask Goosen again if they're open to answering. It's their choice. But how do they view humanity as a whole at the moment?
Mm.
Awkward moment of silence.
Yeah,
Everyone's just
that one's really hard to explain because, like, with Seer, he constantly. It's almost as if he's trying to do something, but he never is fully descriptive of what he's trying to do, and he thinks humans are odd. He has been around in instances where, let's say, I went out to a concert and he was lingering off in the background, and this man's like, fucking humans, what? As a human in a whole, I think they want to do something to help. They want to respectfully come in and try to make some type of changes, but I don't really know what their official view of them are.
And I think that definitely differs by Damon.
Yeah, exactly.
because like Asmodeus views us as children.
I don't know, because Seer acts like a teenage boy sometimes.
He views us as like almost like little babies. Like, oh, we're cute. It's like you guys have a lot to learn. And he thinks that a lot of the negative that has happened to humans as a whole is due to ourselves and our decisions, and we have done this to ourselves. And he is like, he wants to help, he wants to teach, but only if you're worthy of learning what he has to teach, because it's important, it requires time, and he's very busy.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Seer was expressing. It was just the want to come in and do something. But he never said children. In fact, he doesn't. Like I said, I see him almost like a friend, and so almost on equal grounds, and he acts like a teenage boy. So I can't even like tell half the time who's more mature. But he has lived so much longer than me, so he has a lot of information, and that's not to insult him. He just, like I said, he acts like a son.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with Gusion, pretty much views most humans, as we explained last time, as insects. He doesn't really find them important or worth his time or attention. And those he chooses, he, sees as his little special.
I was about to say, because there was that one time Gusion referred to me as one of the cats. We have a lot of cats in our house, and like I was apparently lucky to be on the level of the cats. While Seer's trying to be my friend, Gusion's like, you are a cat.
Goosen, he just doesn't mess around, does he? Like, yeah, okay, you're cool and calm and everything, buddy, but man, jeez, okay.
I just feel like he's just done with human shit. I feel like that's.
I can see that.
He's just done with humans
He
in
picks
general.
and chooses who is worthy enough to at least hear him out.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's funny because in some ways it reminds me of a guide of mine. Her name is Pearl, and oh God, I don't know what she is. I don't know. That's just something else. But she really does not care about anyone or anybody but myself for whatever reason, to the point where she will very, very, very rarely communicate with any other psychic or through people unless it's just for a specific reason to pretty much yell at me, and that's about it. So it's very interesting. But then
Yeah.
when you're also around for who knows how many thousands of years and then some, and you see life and how it evolves or progresses, then retracts and starts over and all that good stuff, I guess you would just say, I am so over this.
Seer likes to have fun with stuff, so I feel like that's why he never seems to have a bad view, is because he has this goal to always be entertained, almost. And I think that's why maybe that is the reason he's more optimistic. I'm not really sure.
But then, like you said, they all have their own personalities too, just like we do. And I guess that's just part of the personalities.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really take it as an insult if I'm looked at like a roach. I'll say this: a roach can survive any freaking thing. So now what? Yeah. So so turn a negative into a positive. Darn it. Um, but in all seriousness, it really is cool that each one has their own individual personality, and you might hear my cat walk up because she's being a heifer, and yeah, it's just so cool, and I like that you three have different personalities. Interestingly enough,
But
and
the voice.
and it still clicks though, which I really, it's just cool. It's really cool and eye opening, and honestly, after speaking to Brooke the first time, my view on this, I mean, it was never along with the mainstream, but it really was eye opening. And it's like, oh, God darn it, I was so freaking backwards. And it's just amazing. So, have people in your private lives, and you don't have to go into details or anything, but have they encouraged you to continue on your path of uh, the oh, God darn it,
Daemonolatry.
demonolatry, or have you seen them just kind of back away or back off?
In instances where they want you to kind of do your thing, they'll back off. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the times they're there and present and pushing it forward.
No, he's talking about like the people in your personal lives,
Oh,
like friends, family, that kind of stuff.
The friends that are here. That I very much expressed my practices in front of my family.
Okay, and
Well, For me, kind of different. Like I told my dad, and he didn't really say much besides "be careful" because he is Christian, but he didn't judge me for it, and he wasn't super negative about it. Um, and my boyfriend knows about it. I mean, I live with him. He accepts it. He's actually interested in it. I've been teaching him a little bit about it, and my friends are my friends for a reason. They have not judged me for it. They are also a little bit interested as well. So, my family, besides my father, though, would not accept it. They are heavily Catholic and they judge me for my makeup. So,
you're joking.
I was about
No.
to say, when it comes to my mom, she's one of those really hard die-hard Christians, and she experienced a lot of the stuff that was happening when I was younger. And this isn't like a new thing where I either saw stuff in my dreams or saw entities. She's known about this since I was 8.
Oh.
And she pushed so hard for me to just join the church, become a Christian, step away from evil, because all that stuff she saw as evil. She used to watch Psychic Children trying to understand it, and then she just saw it and deemed it as evil. So she would not in any way accept it, and then she would probably tell me that I am being drawn in by Satan and I need to go to church. Well, I have friends that are very, very supportive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she did that. She was over.
Yeah, she came over and she started praying in every corner and telling me I needed to come back home. She saw the house and instantly told me I needed to go back home to step out of the house full of demons. That's the reason I'm sick.
Oh wow. Well, at least you guys have that support though. You're with your friends, close friends, and significant others. So that's always a good thing.
Brooke has system.
I would probably be looked at like just a scumbag of the earth with all the mess I talk on here. Woo! You'd be surprised. So would you guys? This is probably impossible, but would any of the daemons that you work with would they ever swap off for a day just to see what it's like working with someone different?
I mean, they technically work with a ton of people other than us.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. I meant, would, for instance, Seer work with Brooke and Guison work with um, Megan and
I've worked with Gushin a few times, and he's helped me in instances.
okay.
And Brooke has been contacted by Seer.
Mm-hmm.
He's come to her specifically to warn her something's wrong with me. I went through a really depressive period, and Brooke actually saw Seer, and he came in and told her to go check on me. And this is when we didn't live together, so it's definitely there. Like, they come in and contact and work with and kind of like communicate with different people. I don't think I've ever contacted Asmodeus, and I don't think he's ever contacted me. We are probably very different. He'd
Yeah.
probably be like this annoying, talkative human being. I am trying to get to the point, and I'm saying here just like,
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with Asmodeus and Seer before, but I definitely don't work with them as frequently as Gushin, obviously. So they definitely do switch off from time to time if they feel it would be helpful. I think that they kind of helped us create a sort of support system between, the three of us, and they kind of communicate. Well, at least through me, when one or the other needs a little push in the right direction, or like more communication, or explained in a different way, or something similar of that nature. Yeah.
And I mean, Seer's also stepped back in situations where, like, let's say outside of Gushin, or if Asmodeus were to at one point contact me, Leviathan, for example, has come and talked to me, and Seer's kind of let him put in his word and helped me through something. So sometimes you can even get contacted through different daemons that aren't exactly working with someone and just happen to pop in and be like, hey, you need this. And that's how I've added candles to my ritual circle, is I've been contacted or approached by other daemons that Seer kind of was just like, hey, they could help you, and that's how it ended up being.
Okay. Leviathan, that's interesting. A friend of mine started working with Leviathan recently.
Yes, he's interesting.
I also do work with Leviathan as well.
Okay, so, I'm kind of feeling a little left out. I work with no one. Darn.
Oh.
No, it's okay. That path is not for me. So,
I
but
completely understand. Trust me, it weirded me out when I had other daemons coming to me. You should have seen the reaction when Fur came up to me, and I was just like, no, I'm not dealing with your chaotic self. I wanted to push him out so bad, but then he was like, no, I'm here for a reason.
no,
He did not give up.
I totally get it. Without getting too personal, there was a friend who was going through just a rough patch. She's into the occult, and she works with too many freaking things. Lilith, Azazel, even though technically he's a watcher, but still, Azazel, Belial, etc., etc. And, well, they decided to pay me a visit. I did not like that.
What was that?
I will never forget it either. It was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm speaking to her, and Pyman decide. Is it Pyman or Payman? I always get his name wrong. As you guys can tell, I'm terrible with names.
I was to say, I've always heard it as Pyman.
Yeah, Pyman. Okay, so yeah, King Pyman shows up. Mind you, I don't do any of this. I like it, but I don't do it. And all of a sudden, I hear drums just dun 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 dun. Like it's 2 a.m. and I'm hearing drumming and loud noises. And she told me, "Oh, he likes making an entrance." Like, really? And I'm feeling this energy on me. With Belial, he came in kind of frigid. Like his energy was frigid, and it's like, oh man. The goddess the Morrigan, she showed up. Her energy was a bit warm and kind of motherly. Um, but the one that got me the most was Lilith. Ooh, hoo, hoo. I would not ever mess with Lilith. I would not want to get on her bad side because her energy was very, very different from everyone else's. It was too freaking hypnotizing and very snake like. It could just sneak up on you. And I
So
don't
that's
know. I guess the only way I could really express this is if you hug someone from behind very slowly and you just wrap your arms around them and you're almost whispering in their ear, and it's just something about that just it's hypnotized. It's like, okay, yeah, Lilith.
that's
Yeah,
I
Lilith
think
is.
was the scariest for me. He just his energy was so different from mine because it was almost obsolete. It was like I couldn't even tell who was standing in my presence, and then like, bam, it was harsh.
Whew, I can imagine. So Angie wants to know if there's a daemon that you would never work with.
Oh, no, not really.
Oh, I mean, like I said, Belial kind of it was almost like his energy, and I'm not saying it wasn't that he had no energy. It was almost like it was just still, like creepily still for me.
Yeah.
Like the most control of energy that you could have to the point where it's scary. And then all of a sudden it comes crashing down, and you're just like, holy hell. I don't know if I could handle Belial because I'm one of those happy go lucky, and Seer's energy is so warm. It's like a spring breeze to me. It's it's nice, it's comforting, and then Belial was very harsh. He's not one of those people that doesn't get to the point. He gets to the point. And he came in and he opened my third eye one time without even like it was just to the point where I almost couldn't handle the amount of energy. I actually like curled over and like held my head because it was something between me, Belial, and Leviathan, and Leviathan was doing something, and Belial came and was like, "Nope, I'm gonna do it."
I'm gonna have to introduce you to Bonnie. She works with Belial,
Yeah,
and
I want to hear what she has to say because he scared the heck out of me.
it's
I
funny
thought
because she loves working with him. She calls him her rock star.
And see, and that's whenever the point was cleared up because what it was Leviathan was trying to do something, and I think Belial was coming in and pretty much trying to stop it as like it for me it was a loss of control and like him being in control that scared me and me not knowing what he did.
Hmm.
When I found out what he was doing, I kind of realized that he was stepping in to help rather than harm. And in my viewpoint it wasn't the same because I lost my control with him trying to take control.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like he's trying to take control of me. He was trying to give me control, but I lost control of that control, if that makes sense, because I wasn't ready.
Yeah,
And
no,
he's very blunt. It felt like he was blunt. He's
it
very,
makes sense.
he gets to the point.
Yeah, actually, he and Astroff was another one who showed up that night. They apologized to me. You know,
And apologizing, and Leviathan apologized to me. They
yeah,
both came in because it was a little bit of a misunderstanding, and when everything got cleared up, actually, surprisingly, because Leviathan's usually so standoffish, I was surprised that he was so willing to apologize.
so that's so cool though. Very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there really isn't any daemon I wouldn't work with, and I say that because my role I've come to realize is sort of an intermediary. So as I encounter new people, I tend to encounter new daemons, and I'm kind of like the in between, to help kind of like connect them or like push them along so that they can communicate with that particular daemon.
I wouldn't mind meeting them.
Yeah, so
I don't know if I would work.
but I mean, I'm not like against working with anybody in particular. Belial, I will say, was a very, very, very intense energy. He came in that same night that he opened Megan's third eye. He came in and slammed me with so much energy that my body stiffened and like I couldn't move for a minute. And then like once I pushed back against it, he kind of let off. But I don't think I've ever been slammed with that much energy at once. So he's definitely very, very intense.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of also just like, I can deal, I guess. So it doesn't really bother me. There's not really any I don't think I wouldn't work with. Like if they came to me and wanted to work with me, then I would probably work with them.
Okay.
What
Well,
about you?
I agree with Brooke on that.
I think I need to come in contact with some more daemons and get more accustomed to, because I'm also still pretty fresh. I had to work myself into really getting close to Seer. And it's as new ones come about, I get to know them. And it's like that first bit of like fear, or not really fear, but like not knowing how to handle them. And I get to know them, so it's like one at a time I start to know them, but it's like at a time. And I guess if I were to get to know like Belial more, like I said, he came and apologized, I would be more open to the communication.
yeah,
But I'm also super dedicated to Seer.
understandable. And these things I think you want to take step by step anyway.
Yes.
Have any of you ever worked with angels by chance?
No.
No. Only had a negative experience with
Yeah.
All three of us did.
yes,
The
with-
same angel that kept pestering us.
Really? Okay, can we hear this story?
Brooke, you want to talk?
Yeah, I was about to say
Jesus.
it's better because it gives
Okay.
me anxiety.
yeah, okay. So after that whole she who shall not be named thing, Megan noticed a presence outside, something that was concealing its energy. And so we tried to communicate with it, and it kept giving us like this, like Bible names and fucking like Bible shit. And
in my dreams, the number 4, as it kept repeating 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
yeah, and so it kept giving the Bible names and like talking about evil, and I'm assuming it was referring to like the daemons we were working with. And then Megan had a dream and she kept seeing the number 4 over and over and over again. So we started discussing it, and I actually, when we were communicating with it, I called it out and was like, "Are you an angel?" And then it stopped responding. So that kind of like ticked off my flag there. Like, I think it's an angel. And then she had that dream, and we looked it up, and angel number 4, and I'm not going to say his name just because I don't want to give him power in my house. Well, we looked him up and we researched him, and the second that Megan said his name and opened that connection, he like
Started giving me really bad dreams. He impersonated himself as Brooke.
I was gonna say start with the first part of it, which is where he slammed you with all that energy and like almost tried to take you over, and I had to.
That was a bad one.
Yeah. So he slammed her with a bunch of energy and almost tried to take her over, and was just filling her with anxiety and fear, and I had to kind of like almost like pull his energy out of her, and he tried to do the same thing to me. Of course, it didn't work because I have a couple protections up on me, and I'm not quite as open to the astral and like other entities as Megan is.
I will never forget its eyes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so she started having negative dreams, and I started having negative dreams. and it tried to convince me to be scared of Gusion and kept trying to get in the house through different loopholes in the house, like our mirrors not being completely protected. I mean, it even stole Megan's ring, actually, to get a connection to us.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, no, it stole Sear's ring from me and actually hid it. And Furfur was one of the people along with Gushin that told us where it was. And he showed Brooke first an image, and then Brooke told Gushin to show me the image because I would probably recognize it. And lo and behold, I was able to recognize this image. It was this desk that was at one of my friend's house. Furfur said that the angel hid it, but Furfur stuck it in a place I would find. And Seer promised that, Furfur didn't stick it in a place that I can find. Furfur was warning us that the angel kept moving the ring because we found out it was trying to place the ring in places to hide it from us. Seer went in, retrieved the ring, and stuck it in a place where I could find. And it was the exact image that Brooke saw.
Yeah, and then, so it just kept trying to connect with us and kept giving us bad dreams. Like Megan had a dream where, like, it pretended to be me to try and get information out of her. It kept going in my dreams and trying to bring out different negative aspects of myself, but unluckily for it, I'm well aware of those aspects and I got those shit unlocked. So it did not succeed in that case. And it just kept trying to get to us, essentially. And then at one point, it actually went after Tina as well and tried to get to her, and she had to have Asmodeus put a barrier up over her house, and it wouldn't leave us alone until Leviathan strengthened the barrier on the house, and then we got her ring back, and it pops in from time to time, but it's pretty much left us alone since. But Leviathan was very clear, even so, to not let our guards down in any way. So,
Wow. This
For
guy's
me,
a
though,
prick.
yeah,
Yes.
for me, he wasn't in my dreams. What had happened was it was my grandmother's birthday, and I decided to try to communicate with her through a spirit box type of app through my phone, and it was threatening me, telling me to pray and stuff, threatening things, and said that its name was Ralph for some reason, but
which is the shortened name of Angel number 4, if you look that up.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna
and
tell you some
yes,
stuff off air, but okay.
yeah. So I feel like it was trying to get me to repent for working with Asmodeus, and was doing it in a very threatening way, and I did not like that at all. It scared me. And I messaged Brooke about it, and she was like, "Ah, yeah, I know what's going on," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know."
It
Wow.
wasn't a very nice encounter, so that's why we haven't really decided to work with them.
I
Our
don't
experience.
blame you,
Yeah.
but wow, that's so interesting. But and what's even more interesting is it was the reverse of what people say would happen. You know, like it's the demons who are gonna hurt you and harm you and all that stuff. And for
Well,
you, it was definitely the reverse.
angels can be kind of like judgmental, if that's the best word to say. So who they're working with and people that they deem, I guess, worthy of being like what they believe in, I guess, their opinions,
Yeah.
they're very judgmental about it. So anything like a daemon doesn't really care. They're just like, wow, I don't really want to like talk about them. They're not like I said, it's not a hate for them.
Mhm.
Angels kind of seem to display an actual hate. So on that side, it's almost like, what would you explain it as? It's
So the differences in demons and angels that I seem to have noted and what makes me wary of angels. And I'm not saying they're all like this because, there's always dissenters and ones that are different and they, can have their
Well,
own
yeah, like the Watchers, I would say.
hmm So the thing with angels, it seems like they are very domineering,
yeah.
controlling. They're very like my way or the highway, and the Daemons
My
are
way or
Yeah.
the highway.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's what I was trying
yeah,
to
and
think
Daemons
of.
are more kind of like, you know, they work with you how you need to be worked with, and they like choose the ones that vibe with them. Angels are kind of like fit into this cookie cutter, like this is how you need to be, like this is it basically.
Exactly. So the people that they work with
Mhm.
already fit into that cookie cutter.
Mhm.
That's not how they're gonna treat them. They are what those angels want them to be. And to express it as Leviathan's exact words whenever he popped up, it's not that he hates them, he just really didn't like that one. He
Um,
specifically said, "Wow, I don't like that one."
so
Oh my god,
I want to
that
say
one.
this real quick because we're coming close to ending it, but Angie made a few more comments, and I just want to. You kind of already answered it actually, but still, she says that I can say from my small experiences that yes, indeed, angels can give you a lot of anxiety, but it's just a side effect of the energy, so perhaps you misunderstood it, but you already explained what happened there. And then she continues by saying, so since it's connected with Nutbag and her cult, it might have been a form of accumulated energy that was not really angelic, but caused by all those crazy people. But you kind of already answered that. So, but I did want to put that out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. At least it was presenting itself as Angel number 4. So
No, like I said, I'm going to tell you some stuff off air, but oh boy, great. You just sent the shiver down my spine.
Oh.
That was, and I'm just literally sitting here in the dark, so that's not good either. Great.
Ultimate shiver.
Yeah, so this is brilliant. So good dreams tonight for me. But yeah, let's start wrapping it up. And you know what? I think we're gonna end on Brooke. So we'll start with. Mm, well, we'll go reverse alphabetical order. So we'll start with Tina, and then go to Megan, then Brooke. Um, Tina, what advice do you have for people who are looking into the life of a Brooke? Say the word.
Daemonolater.
Um,
Daemonolater, and they might be a little bit afraid and they don't know where to start. What advice can you give them?
um, just listen to your heart, like your gut feeling, like whatever you feel that you should do, whether that be meditating, um, lucid dreaming, divination, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing, and try and incorporate that into communicating with whichever daemon it is that you would like to communicate with. And it's okay to be a little bit nervous when doing so because it's a completely different feeling than you're probably used to. So it'll be a little bit nerve wracking at first, but when you calm your nerves and relax yourself, you can really learn a lot from this.
All right, and Megan, what advice do you have?
Um, if you're gonna work with them and you don't know where to start, I would definitely give the idea of meditation, energy work. Really get yourself to the point where you will be in a good position so that you can communicate with them. Because once you get to doing that, there's going to be more of an opening for you to really understand where they're coming from and where you want to be what path you want to take along the lines of which daemon or entity you decide to work with. Because as Seer has said, communication is key. He likes to communicate, and so I definitely believe that working in communication will help so that you can understand and not fear
Okay, and apparently my cat agrees with you. So,
it.
and Brooke, you get the final say.
All right. So, having worked with them for quite a while now, I would definitely say that the most important thing is building up your foundations. And by that I mean, like Megan mentioned, the meditation. You really want to build on your meditation and your psychic senses so that you can not only communicate properly with them, but be able to distinguish different entities, um, by individual. Like, you don't want to allow yourself to be so, I don't want to say numb, but you don't want to be not focusing on your psychic abilities to the point where you can't tell the difference between a daemon and an actual negative entity. You really want to build that foundation so that you can tell the difference in who you are talking to. And that is super, super important. And as far as not learning to fear, I would say that try and keep an open mind. Two, if you are drawn to a certain daemon, try to do research on that daemon, see what different cultures they might be connected to, and then maybe you can see the different aspects of that daemon and see them more as a full entity rather than just the Christianized demon version of them. And I think that really is what helped me learn to understand that they aren't limited to this, demonic idea that humans have placed on them, and they are really ancient old gods who have been involved in many different cultures and in many different histories. And yeah, I think that's about it. Just keep an open mind and try and find more information. The more things are familiar, the less things are scary, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So, and I think this is a good spot to end it. So, Brooke, Megan, Tina, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I super appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
having
you.
me.
Yeah, see? And hopefully I'm not too weird for any of you, which,
No.
Not at all. Super easy to talk to.
yeah.
See, I told you guys. I told you.
And, you know what? If someone wanted to ask one of you personally, and it's okay if things are private, but if they were seeking guidance or whatever, is there any way they could contact you or just ask a question?
I guess probably through me, and I can pass it along. Would probably be the
Okay.
easiest way.
And where can they contact you at?
On my Order of Guison Facebook page or Order of Guison at gmail.com.
Okay, and those links will be in the description below. And while you're gotta have to edit that out. And while you're checking out the description, be sure to click on the links for Unexplained Possibilities, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram. Go ahead and follow us. You'll see fun things, not posted by me, but by Angie, because I'm bad at social media. Thank you, and thank you all once again for tuning in and joining us for this pretty interesting talk. And with that said, remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye, everybody.